Yeah, I can hear you. I'm going live right now. I'm gonna just get it. We live right now. What's up? Just hold on for a minute. We're going live.
Okay.
Set the stage with the lights off. Let the little nigga breathe to the fight law. You ain't never like the room with the bright sauce. Hail Mary, they despise what the light brought. Let them roach niggas bleed if they can't see. SaNeter TV, what you can't be. They say that murder on my mind, now they can't breathe. Take a picture of the crew, that's your last peep. Oh, and need me your love, yeah, that's just me. Keep them jumping like some frogs, so they might be what the sun say. And they don't really wanna bleed from the gunplay. And like mine, niggas smoking weed on the one-way street, nigga. Yeah, we see we outside with it. Pull up to debates like we might be with it on guard. Side these niggas like bullshit and they fraud. Let me chop them down with the sword. Walk them down like they live hard. This the toughest you gon' be in, we too hard. And you don't really want that smoke, my G. With SaNeter TV, this the toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in, toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in, toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in, toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in, toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in, toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Keep that off your lip before you get flipped. We got sources over here, we don't just spit. Too many bosses over here, y'all just legit. Put them niggas in the game, let them get real. Don't even step unless you come in with that scholarship. That economic tip, gotta make a dollar flip. And I might be next, I don't give a damn, a truth rolling with me, so I'm feeling like the son of man. Too many gon' hate, gotta make a stand. I'm just trying to duck the lake, you don't understand. Read them when I greet them, that's my best plan. Head first shit, I'm just saying. Nigga meet me in LA, oh you just playing. Too many be fake what the base saying. So I tell them they don't want no smoke before they end up in the newspaper next day. Smoke. This the toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. The toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. And this is it right here. The toughest you gon' ever be in. You wasn't conscious before us. Y'all niggas was asleep. We woke the sleeping giant. We did it. SaNeter TV. So stay your ass in your little bitty box where you feel safe. Cause it's motherfucking monsters over here. Real monsters.
Peace and Pan-Africanism to Brother Herman Smalls in the toughest environment you can be in.
This is exactly what I've been waiting for. This is exactly, I don't mean to sound like Cat Williams, but this is exactly what I've been waiting for.
Blame this motherfucker.
All right, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. We coming in. Everybody already know what time it is. This is the toughest environment to be in. We got Chief X in the building. He ain't scared. He pulled up. He said, I'm coming in. And he's flexing on you right now. So you already know what it is. He got his pipe on him. And so when he got his pipe, you already know he about to go in, man. Make no mistake about it. But Chief X, I want to let you know Smash is watching. Jabari is watching, Dr. Reggie is watching, and Shaka Utmost is watching. All I'm going to say is be careful, brother. Be careful what you say. Be careful what you source up, because it might be used against you. And so without any further ado, I bring to you my brother, your brother, Chief X is in the building. What's up,
That's
Chief?
what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Can you hear me good?
I hear you loud and clear.
Looking here, SaNeter.
I'm hoping your people ain't leave you hanging. They got scared on you. What?
Nah, I shot them the link. They just coming after my presentation.
Okay. Okay.
Right, so I gotta lay down the roadmap,
Go ahead.
and they coming after my presentation. But Sa, this is gonna be ugly for the Egyptomaniacs, right? I'm representing West Side. Put the screen on me, Sa. I got something to say. I'm representing West Side, West Africa. I'm from West and Central Africa. I got my gear on today. Who we come from? Akan, Fulani, Hausa, Igbo, Mande, Wolof, Yoruba, West African American, West Side. I'm representing the Sante gang. I'm just having fun, but yes, that's what it is. West Coast LA, West Africa. I'm representing the West today. That's all I'm trying to say. And guess what, Sa? This is dedicated to the entire organization, ASCAC.
Oh, wow.
I'm calling them all out.
You
I'm
sure?
not just worried about the students like Smash, Reggie, Jabari, Shaka Amos.
You going for
I want the top.
uh
I want ASCAC, and I'm bringing the pain today. So this is dedicated to Smash Rockwell, Reggie, Jabari, Shaka Amos, and every single person in ASCAC. Let's go.
okay.
Come back on the
So,
screen, Sa.
All right, so let's get it in, man. Let's get it in. The topic is you dealing with the topic today is called Black Egypt Kemet Debunked. This is the final nail that you call it in the coffin. So he is putting the final nail in the coffin. According to Chief X, you got the floor, brother. Let's get it.
So check this out. Let me open up. I understand, first of all, that I'm in the lion's den right now. You're promoting this as the toughest environment in America, right? I'm in a tough environment. I already know if you took a poll, it's going to be 90% against me, 10% with me. I already know this, right? I know I'm in the lion's den. You're the home team, and I'm traveling to the home team today. I get it. So I just want to make sure the moderators are doing their job and keeping the chat respectful, first of
Yes.
all, right? I'm not here to insult nobody. I'm not here to be disrespectful to anyone. I come in peace, right? I just want to share the information, right? Forget me right now. It's really not about Chief X.
Okay, so let me say this. I want all moderators on deck. Let's give our brother Chief X a fair hearing. We want to hear him out. This is like in court. We want to hear the brother out, especially the mods already know not to go against the guests. So the mods ain't going to be going against you. But we got a system now that I've been asking YouTube for, and we don't have to block them. But what we can do is time them out for 24 hours, or we could time them out for a half an hour. So we give them a break the first time. We give them a little 20-minute timeout. If they do it again, then we go up to a half an hour. And if they do it again, then we time them out for the whole day where they won't be up in the building. Y'all got the green light to do that. And all moderators know is not to go against the guests. They already know that, Chief. So this is the best chat room on YouTube. My Mars is the best on YouTube. So without any further ado, I'll pass you the mic, Chief. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So throughout this discourse, don't even worry about me. It's not about Chief X. It's about the information. The information. Throughout this discourse, I guarantee you not a thing I say will be incorrect. First of all, everything I say I will show and prove. Second of all, so when this is over and you address me, question answer period or what have you on later on down the line in the comments, all that talking, if you can't disprove what I said tonight wrong, I'm right. And we have to let the foolish pride go. I know we have these beliefs and things we believe in and things that we were taught over the decades. And if some new information comes, it's okay to ride with the truth and let your foolish pride, let the beliefs go and say, you know what? I didn't know that. Thank you, Chief X. Right? So, why am I doing this and why am I on this subject? Chief X got tattoos of comedic artwork all on my sleeves. When I came into the movement in 1992 and then start following Ashwakwezi in 1995, because Ashwakwezi used to live in LA. He lives in Dallas now, but Ashwakwezi used to live in LA. And this is where I met him and attended all his lectures. And this is where I got caught up in what I called myself at the time, an Egyptomaniac. So I used to be where you guys are at. So I'm not going against you. I've learned something new and I'd like to share it. And I've changed in my thinking. I've changed the belief I used to have. So I'm here to do this presentation and prove that Egypt was not a land or a country of black folk, Negroid folk,
Woo.
whatever you want to term it. Because now when I made the video Black Egypt Debunked 3 years ago, people start acting like they don't know what black folk is. SaNeter's a black man. I'm a black man. In America, when they say Black History Month, you know who they're talking about. You know what those people in the cotton fields of America look like. Black folk. So let's not play around with terms, okay? I know black is a social construct. I get it. But guess what? We're on social media talking about a social construct in societies. Everything is not always what you would consider a science topic, right? Sometimes we're just talking about population and what kind of people are. When someone shoots up a school, the first thing people want to know in America, was he black or was he white? That's the first thing people want to know. They say, oh, he was white. Oh, okay. He was black. Oh, okay. You know who black folk is. So let's just get on off that. So I'm ready to go ahead and share. Oh, I made this because I want to bring our people back to West Central Africa. We need to talk about West Central Africa and where we come from. We are not Egyptians. We're not descendants of Egyptians. Our ancestors aren't Egyptians. Egyptians, Berbers, North Africans, people from the Near East, Arabs are considered Caucasian in forensic science and in physical anthropology. I didn't say white. I'm not referring to Germans in England and Irish people and Portuguese and French. I'm not talking about them people. When I say Caucasoid or Caucasian, there's people in the Caucasus. Berbers are Caucasoid people. Okay? So I just want to make these distinctions, Sa. And I'm ready to go in. Are you ready for me, Sa?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay, so when I share my screen, is it going to be full on here or?
If you wanted to be.
Well, I'm just, yeah. So I just want to
You wanted to be a full screen?
What I'm sharing, I would like people to see clearly.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a full screen.
Okay, cool. So check this out. First of all, I want to let us know. Let me share my screen. Okay, I'm sharing my system audio. And here we go.
You are up and running.
Okay. First of all, we have to know who we are. Okay? I must get to talking, but I'm leading up to things. We have to use a lot of common sense when we're talking today, right? And logic. This is a deep subject and a vast subject, so I have to cover different areas. I have to knock down myths. You know what I mean? I have to knock down beliefs and make you see things clearly. So just bear with us and just listen, and I guarantee you nothing I say will be wrong today. First of all, we are, let me get to where I had highlighted. Can you see that, Sa? First of all,
I see it.
okay. First of all, we are tropical Africans. We come from the tropics. The Sahara Desert in North Africa is arid Africa or Mediterranean Africa. We're tropical Africans. You have to understand that. Our people come from the tropics. And the tropics is, let me make this a little smaller so I can see what I'm doing. Let me skip that. Egyptians in Egypt is a Mediterranean country. Black folk are not Mediterranean people. Right? List of Mediterranean countries, just so you understand. Egypt in North Africa is a Mediterranean country. Libya is a Mediterranean country. Tunisia is a Mediterranean country. Algeria is a Mediterranean country. Morocco is. Rome, Greece. It is in the Mediterranean basin, and these people are Mediterranean people. Okay, are we clear on that? Black folk didn't do business and trade and get around in the Mediterranean world. Nubians were not part of the Mediterranean world. You have to understand that. This, let me make sure everything is sharing and showing. Okay, this is what you consider tropical Africa. North Africa is not tropical Africa. We also come from forest areas in Ghana, Nigeria, in the Congo. Okay? We have to be clear on this and know who we are and know who we are not. That's the point of this discussion. Okay? Egypt is also, we have to understand this because of its location, and it's different than other countries in Africa. Right here is telling you Egypt, officially the Arab Republic of Egypt, is a transcontinental country, meaning it's connected to the Mediterranean, it's connected to Africa, it's connected to West Asia. They are unique in that sense. The rest of sub-Saharan Africa is not connected to West Asia, the Levant, the Near East. This is why Canaan used to be a colony of Egypt. You have to understand that, right? So it's a transcontinental country spanning the northeast corner of Africa, southwest corner of Asia, right? Sinai Peninsula, and it's the only contiguous Eurafrasian nation. You have to understand this, right? Egypt was also, just to let you know, it was Mediterranean. Egypt was this is a history channel website. Egypt was the preeminent civilization in the Mediterranean world for almost 30 centuries. Understand that Egypt was the preeminent civilization in the Mediterranean world for almost 30 centuries. Not Nubia. They were not part of the Mediterranean world. North Africans are Mediterranean. Egyptians are Mediterranean. We have to understand that. Black folk, Negroid people, are not Mediterranean. Preeminent civilization, meaning they were the best. The majority. They were running stuff. Understand that. Now, I want to drive this point home and I'm going to move on. I made this video when I was at a food event and I ran into a Tunisian and North African. Let him tell you who they are. When I made this video, black folk got mad because they weren't part of the Mediterranean world. North Africans know and say they are Mediterranean people. Let's see. I'm at this, he's selling Mediterranean food. He's from Tunisia. And on his sausage he's selling, it says Mediterranean traditional food. And he's from Tunisia.
I am from
Do
Tunisia.
you consider yourself Mediterranean?
I am Mediterranean. Half of the country is on the Mediterranean. Beautiful Tunisia is the pearl of the Mediterranean. We
I
do
keep
good
telling y'all.
seafood. All the food is good.
Look, Mediterranean food. They're North Africans are Mediterranean people.
We got the tuna too. When it comes to the Mediterranean.
Who? Tuna?
Preserved tuna.
Oh, okay, nice. Okay, pause. Just letting you know so you can understand who's Mediterranean people and who is not Mediterranean people, right? Now, let's move on to this. People, for a long time, considered, let me just go here and find this. One second. One second, sir. Let me find this photo. I have to show this photo. Okay, I'll show this one. Here we go. This is Queen T, a T. People for decades have been lying to you guys, saying that this is an afro. And they use this picture and many other to act like she had an afro and she was a black woman. No, this is dark yayo wood. It's a bust. Now, you see the two holes in the top. This is a headdress. It's not an afro. It's a headdress where the snake or uraeus came out of, where you see the two holes. You can pull this off. It's not an afro. And Smash, Reggie, Jabari, Shaka Amos knows this. I don't know why they keep lying to you about it. Right? So, just so you understand, those two holes are for the uraeus, and you can pull this headdress off. Now, let's break this down. One second. Let me find the proper video for this one. Hope I did not. Okay, let me go here real quick. This is an important picture you guys have to see and understand about. Right here. This is Queen T, right? In the headdress. This headdress used to have blue, as you can see right here, fiance beads on it before they were removed and taken off. And if it was complete, it would look just like this headdress. It's not hair, family. I don't know why they keep lying to you about that. You cannot disprove this. This is just the reality, and you see it circled right here. You may not be sure clear, but we're going to clear this up. And down here is the real Queen T, her mummy. She never had afro hair. She has Caucasian hair. Why? Because Queen T is part of the Armana dynasty, what they call the New Kingdom. And we know what the what the DNA of the New Kingdom is. She has Caucasoid hair. This is not an afro. This is primary evidence. So if someone's showing you a bust, they are misleading you. That's Queen T and her mummy. And this is what she had on her head. Okay? Let's be clear on that. So I have to knock down a few myths first so we can get an understanding. Now, let's play the video so you can get an understanding. You guys say St. Bring sources, right? Okay? These are experts breaking down to you what it is. This is just a brief video.
One of the most interesting women in all of Egyptian history, began her life as the daughter of a bureaucrat, but would marry the pharaoh of Egypt. She would then be demoted upon his death and would simply be the queen mother. But her son would then elevate her status substantially, making her divine, making her a goddess.
So much of that history can be seen in this tiny sculpture of Queen Ta.
There's a clear sense of her nobility, even though she began in a relatively modest way as a commoner, although with fairly high status. She looks out and past us here, and there's no doubt she's a queen. She's completely unapproachable.
And we may also be getting a sense here of what she looked like. There seem to be some individual characteristics. She seems to be a little bit older. We can see lines extending below her nose on either side of her cheek, and there are some distinctive facial characteristics. So perhaps we have a little bit of a window into what she really looked like.
The face and neck are made out of yew wood, this beautiful dark wood. The eyes are made out of ebony.
Looked like.
The face and neck are made out of yew wood, this beautiful dark wood. The eyes.
To what she really looked like.
The face and neck are made out of yew wood, this beautiful dark wood. The eyes are made out of ebony and alabaster. And then there's some other materials as well. Gold and some of the semi-precious stone, lapis lazuli, is visible just under that headdress that seems to have been chipped away.
That's right. What we're seeing are, in fact, evidence of these changes in TA's life. Underneath the headdress that we see her in now would have been a gold headdress that signified her status as the queen, as the wife of the pharaoh. And we can also see that in the 2 gold clips that we see on the forehead that are evidence of where that crown would have been worn.
There would have been a cobra placed there, the insignia of royalty. That was presumably removed when her husband died, and she actually fell in status to that of Queen Mother.
But she was so important and so smart, and her son depended on her so much that in order to have her be able to actively participate in politics and the affairs of the royal court, he elevated her status to one of a goddess.
And that's when this headdress would have been added. This would have been spectacular when it was first made. Now it simply looks a little bulbous. But if you look a little bit to the back right of the skull,
listen,
you can just make out some brilliant blue faience beads that catch the light and really shimmer. You can just make out some brilliant blue faience beads that catch the light and really shimmer. You can just make out some brilliant blue faience beads that catch the light and really shimmer. You can just make out some brilliant blue faience beads that catch the light and really shimmer. That would
it's not an afro, people.
Have covered the entire headdress, and so she would have looked regal and almost celestial, appropriate to a goddess.
Her headdress extends upward where we
headdress, they said, not an afro.
See horns, a solar disk, and 2 feathers. Now that solar disk may refer to the religion founded by her son, Akhenaten. Akhenaten got rid of Egypt's traditional polytheistic religion and established a monotheistic religion centered.
Give us a sense of her importance, her power, her son's respect for her, and gives us just a little glimpse in.
Pause. Now, I've just proved that it's not an afro, right? And we have to stop it. This is what it would look like with them faience beads on it, fully decorated. It's a headdress. Are we clear now? That's what you call showing and proving, right? So let's move on. Queen T, and let's just show real quick so people won't be confused. Let me just show you what she is. Let me just show you which is. Now, we have a list because, as you know, the New Kingdom, some of the mummies and people in the New Kingdom has their DNA been tested. And let's just go down the list. List of DNA tested mummies. When you get down here to Queen T, as you see, let's blow it up. We don't want nobody to be confused. Queen T. When you go to the right, you see K. mtDNA K is Queen T. mtDNA K is West Asian. Queen T's ancestors, forefathers, come from West Asia. I didn't make this up. You got to deal with this. Let's move on. Now, I'm going to speak a bit about the Nubians to let you know there's a distinction between Nubians or Cushites and Egyptians. For a long time, let me just go ahead. For a long time, people used to say the Cushites and the Egyptians are the same people. That's not true. It's far from the truth. Nubians were Egyptians' enemies. This is at the Walter Art Museum, right? And Nubia was considered a vassal state or a tributary state. Where's it at? So you can see. A vassal state or tributary state that offered tribute or were bound to Egypt by diplomatic treaties. Okay? Just so you understand, what is a tributary state, Chief X? A tributary state, we just read what a vassal state is. A tributary state is a excuse me. I hope everybody can see this. A tributary state is a oops.
Yeah, we all everybody.
Say what, sir?
Everybody. Yeah, president. Up.
Okay, cool. A tributary state is a pre-modern, right? Ancient Egypt and Cushites. It's a pre-modern state that in a particular type of what? Subordinate relationship to a more powerful state. Who's the more powerful state? Egypt. Who's the tributary state? Cushites and Nubians. I'm going to prove all this. To a more powerful state, which involves sending of regular tokens of submission or tribute to the superior power. What are tokens of submission and tribute they bring? And I'm going to show you the whole tribute scene. They bring in them gold and trinkets and animal skins and luxury items, right? They pay in tribute to a superior power. Token often took the form of substantial transfer of wealth, such as gold, produce, and slaves. So Nubians were bringing Egyptians gold, produce, and slaves, paying tribute for what? Protection money. So the Egyptians said, if you run us that gold, we will protect you and not keep fucking you up. Excuse my language, so I'm sorry. And not keep, they had to pay protection money. I'll prove all this. Let's go here to what did they call it? Tomb of Owners. Now, mind you, Memphis University, as you see right here, Memphis University Institute of Egyptian Art and Archaeology. They give you links to ancient Egyptian tombs and temples to help you guys understand and help their students learn. And they recommend tombs of ancient Egypt right here. Memphis University does. So let's go to the tombs of ancient Egypt, which Memphis University recommends their students to learn from. Here we go. And remember about all the tribute and things like that. Here we go. This is the tomb of Hoi. Right? Let's scroll down. The tomb owners and his family, right? So, Amenhotep Hoi probably began his career during the reign of Amenhotep and culminating his appointment with Tutankhamun's king, son of Kush, the overseer of southern countries. Let me make this big so people can see. During the reign of Amenhotep, culminating with his appointment as Tutankhamun's kings of the sons of Cush, overseer of the southern countries. They talk about of Nubians, Sudan, Cushites, and all that gold they about to get, and all the tribute that they have to pay. But first, let me get to this tribute scene real quick, so you guys can understand. This is very important to understand. Bam. All right. Here's the tribute scene that we're about to go over and talk about. The Egyptians were different than the Nubians. The Nubians or the Cushites would be considered Negroid. Some of them were mixed, right? Here's the tribute scene. Who are these Nubians paying tribute to, bowing down to, and worshiping? You see them bowing down, giving honor, and worshiping. You see they're carrying gold and paying tribute. Who are they paying tribute to, Chief X? I'm going to show you in a second. Here's some slaves who are bound with red ropes tied around their neck, and their hands are bound by rope. I know the Afrocentrics didn't teach this way. They didn't want you to know that. Shame on Brother Reggie. Shame on Jabari. Shame on Smash. Shame on Shaka Amos. They are bound here, and we're going to break it down because Memphis University says so. Right? And they're also on ships right here to the right, bound on ships, being carried over to be given away. Because when people pay tribute, they give up slaves that the superior nation may take on as concubines or what have you, or as slave labor. Okay? So all these Nubians and Cushites of Lower Nubia and Upper Nubia, they're all mixed up, bringing animal skins, produce, gold, and trinkets, right? Right? You see these dark folk, brown and black. You see them. Okay, let's go. Who are they paying tribute to? Who are these people bowing down to right here? Let's see. When you go to the end, right here, to King Tut, this Caucasian. This is not a Negroid. This is King Tut with the fan bearer, and these Negroids, here are bowing down. Are bowing down to King Tut. You have to understand this. I'm doing this because I'm letting you know they are different nations. King Tut is of Mediterranean stock. He is of West Asian stock. He is different than the Nubians that's bowing down and paying honor to him. So prove all that, Chief X. Okay. Now, when you go to the list of mummy DNA, guess who they got? King Tut right here. What is he? mtDNA-K. West Asian. So Nubians, Cushites, are bowing down and giving honor to them Caucasian West Asians. That's what King Tut is. Did I make this up? This is what the science says, not Chief X. It's nothing I said so far that anyone can prove wrong or say I'm wrong on, because I'm showing and proving everything. Now, let's get back to them explaining this and letting you know that they were the overseer of the southern countries. Egypt and Nubia in the 18th dynasty. We will discuss much about Nubia in the pages that follow, so an introduction to the subject seems useful. At the beginning of the 18th dynasty, once the Hyksos invaders were driven from the north, Amenhotep I decided to extend his grasp all over Nubia and make it, as we would say today, what? A colony. A subject of them. By removing the ancient kingdom of Kush. The new province, which Egyptians called Tasseti, the country of the bow, because of the characteristics, weapons used by the inhabitants. Let me just make this bigger. Well, let's read along. We don't want to be fooled today. Right? Because of the characteristics, weapon used by its inhabitants is directly administered by Egyptian officials. Egyptian officials was administering it. Under the authority of what we call a viceroy, which Egyptians designated as the kings, sons of Cush, overseer of the southern countries. He is assisted in this task by a chief of the archers. There go the chief of the archers. Follow me for a second. And lieutenant generals, one from the north, Wawat, lower Nubia, and the other for the south, Cush itself, upper Nubia, right? Now, bear with me and understand this. Nubia had very important place in the economy of Imperial Egypt. Imperialism. Imperial Egypt. As it was its main gold provider. Run that gold. That's all they cared about, getting luxury goods and running that gold. Especially from the country of Wawat. Nubia was also a slave labor reservoir. Black folk have always been enslaved by people from the north. Berbers, Arabs, North Africans, Egyptians, for a long time, right? And provided valued archers for the army and for the police troops. Guess who the police was? The Magi. The archers. They were desert police. You can look up who the Magi are. They're the police. They will be what we consider turncoats. They was guarding the gold, the fortresses, certain lands for Egyptians because Egyptians hired Nubians, put their ass on the front line to die just in case any rebellions went down. The Magi was the police. They was policing niggas. Excuse me. Black folk. From rebellion and doing anything. That's who the Magi archers are. The police. And they was fighting against other Negroids or even Asiatics, because Asiatics and the Nubians was Egyptians' enemies. Are we clear? And they call these tribes of Cush expressive names like the scarred, braid carriers, those who dress in skin, Nahisi, face burned, and curly hair. They were talking about Negroids. Right? You want to see who the scarred are? Let's talk about it. Let me find the picture. A good picture. Hold on. And we're going to move forward. Right here. With the scars on the forehead. I'm cooking tonight. I'm cooking tonight. The scarred. The curly head. That's what they're talking about. And it said if the Nubian elites are subservient to Egypt, this is not the case with tribes that inhabited these regions which rebelled regularly against colonial rule. They was having colonial rule over the Negroids. Right? Egypt must therefore put down those revolts by what? Police or military. The Magi. Prisoners taken at the time or during raids were sent as slave labor to work in Egypt. I don't know why Smash, Reggie, Jabari, Shaka Amos didn't tell you about the slave labor of them Cushites and Nubians in Egypt. They were different people is what I'm saying. It says Nubia and the retinue do provide prisoners and slaves. I showed you that in the procession with them bound by ropes. They provided them slaves and prisoners. Slaves and prisoners. Right? So let's move on. Let's move on real quick. So they even call between the Nubian chiefs, frankly, Negroid. Right? Let's all see it. Negroid. The Egyptians, the North Africans, the Mediterranean people, the people in the Near East, the Levant, they're not Negroids and never have been. Are we cooking? Let's move on. Let's go to page 2 real quick. So you see where it says right here they paying tribute. Excuse me. Let's just say it real big. The two people who paid tribute were the Asiatics and the Nubians. Tribute. I'm not making this tribute thing up. That's what was going on. Right? So where are we before we move forward? They also talk about right here the overseer of the southern lands. Now let's get to the tribute scenes. Well, they break all this down, and we're going to move on to another subject after this. They're bound. Ropes around their neck. Slaves. I know nobody taught it you this way, but Chief X want to bring you the truth. This shows the grand arrival of Nubian tribute at Thebes. Well, who he presents it to who? Tutankhamun. We've seen the tribute scene. We've seen the tribute scene right here. We've seen that they're paying and giving honor to who? Tutankhamun, the Caucasian. MTDNAK. Let's move forward. Presents it to who? Tutankhamun. All I'm saying is Kush consists of mainly of raw materials, of course gold, but also other products, some of which come from the depths of Africa: ivory, precious woods, ostrich eggs, feathers, panther skins, exotic animals. However, in the tomb of Hoover, manufactured products are also found, particularly in the extraordinary gardens of goldsmithery. Okay, let's continue. So right here, it's talking about that boat that I showed you. Right here. So what are they talking about with these bound slaves being captives brought to King Tut? The register shows boats of Nubians and Nubian captives, ostrich feathers stuck in their hair, are shown seated on the roof of the cabins. Their hands are shackled and their necks are tied by a white rope. Let's just so we can all see it. By a white rope. What else it say? We will find them in the parade. That's the procession I just showed you. We have to be clear who these people are and who they are not. This is a recreation of that procession I was showing you. And in the top left, you see the Nubian bowing down to these people, to King Tut. Okay, so we're clear on that. I think I can move on from this. Okay, so I have to break down and show you who you are and who you are not. First of all, we're not even Nubians. They're not even related to us West Central Africans. So I backed up what I was showing you about a tributary state paying honor and tribute, bringing gold to a more superior state. So let's move on. So we're talking about the Armana period, right? In the Armana period was the 18th dynasty. Let me find where I had underlined. Excuse me. Hold on. The Armana period was at the end of the 18th dynasty during what? The New Kingdom period, which Egypt was growing into a larger power and had conquered lands all along the Mediterranean Sea. Nubia and Negroids had nothing to do with the Mediterranean Sea or Mediterranean lands or doing business or trade on the Mediterranean. Only Caucasians. It was the Golden Age. Right? So what do we have here? Let's do this. When we talk about mummies and unraveling ancient Egyptians' ancestry, right? Mummy DNA unravels ancient Egyptians' ancestry. Genetic analysis reveal a close relationship between Middle Easterns, not Central Africans.
Like the video. Thumb up the video.
So let's roll on down. It says the tombs of Egypt have yielded golden collars and ivory braces, but another treasure, human DNA, has proved elusive, because it's been hard to get some DNA from a lot of ancient mummies and things of that time period, right? Now scientists have captured sweeping genomic information from Egyptian mummies. It reveals that mummies were closely related to ancient Middle Easterns. I didn't make this up. This is what science says. Hinting that northern Africans might have a different genetic roots from people south of the Sahara. We are people of south of the Sahara, meaning Egyptians has different roots than people south of the Sahara. So what they had is a study published 30 May in Nature's Communication, includes data from 90 mummies buried between 1380 BC and Egyptians' New Kingdom. Who's in the New Kingdom? King Tut, Queen T. What I was showing you. These findings show the mummies' closest kins were ancient farmers from a region that includes present-day Israel by Canaan and Jordan. Modern Egyptians, by contrast, have inherited more of the DNA from Central Africans. Modern Egyptians have little more from Central Africa and south of the Sahara in modern times because of the slave trade, but not the ancient Egyptians. So we have to be clear and understand they're also talking about the New Kingdom, because people said, oh, they just have a small sample only in a certain area, the New Kingdom, and these times where the Romans and Grecos would come, oh, that's crybaby stuff. Whatever they have, it's not in sub-Saharan Africans' favor. Okay, you guys can read. Archaeological discoveries and historical documents suggest close ties between Egypt and the Middle East. Why? Because I said when we began, Egypt was a transcontinental country. It's connected to West Asia. It's connected to the Levant, the Near East, and Middle East. This is why Egyptians, ancient Egyptians, have a close genetic relationship with the Middle East. You guys got to deal with science. I didn't make that up. It's nothing I say tonight that can be disproved. I proved it all. You're going to have to make up a whole nother subject and a whole nother narrative to get around Chief X. Okay? Now, where were we at? Okay, trade in Egypt. This is ck.org, an academic site. Trade in Egypt. Let's blow this up so everyone can see it. South of Egypt was a land known as Kush. Today we call it Land of Nubia. Egypt and Kush began as trading partners. Today, the land of Nubia in southern Egypt and northern Sudan. Egypt had fertile soil around the Nile to grow cotton, wheat, barley, and other fruits. However, they had to get other resources from different countries. As Egypt became bigger, they wanted to obtain this is important. As Egypt became bigger, they wanted to obtain luxury goods. Let's make this bigger. So I keep telling people, all they really wanted from Nubians was luxury goods like gold and animal skins. As Egypt became bigger, they only wanted to obtain luxury goods such as gold, gemstones, animal skins, and perfumes. These are not needed items. These are just luxury items. They eventually established a trade relationship with Kush. Kush had gold, which Egyptians needed for trade for more wood. Egyptians had grain, which Nubians needed to survive. So the Nubians needed grains from the Egyptians to survive. It was a necessity. Egyptians didn't need necessity items from Nubia. They just needed luxury goods. Right? Since Nubia depended on Egypt's grain and Egypt depended on Kush's gold. Let me get this out the way. Okay, here we go. Since Nubia depended on Egyptians' grain and Egypt depended on Kush's gold, Nubia and Egypt had interdependence or dependency by each group on the other. This trade began a close relationship between Egypt and Nubia, right? So, I'm just verifying what I'm saying, right? Also, people have to understand that the Nubians didn't travel up and down the Nile well because of cataracts and rocks. Only the Egyptians were able to travel up and down the Nile River all up into the Mediterranean without any interference. Nubians had to get off on boats and walk through the desert to make it to certain trading posts. Right? The Nile, why? Because the Nile had many cataracts, which we call white rapids. This made it difficult for them to travel the Nile, so they often had to go on foot through the desert. Egyptians never had to go on foot. They traveled the Nile freely. Prove that, X. Okay.
Egypt is quite unique when it comes to geographic isolation. Now to the north, the Mediterranean, you have the Sahara, and down you have the cataracts. You have the Sahara, and down you have the cataracts.
He said cataracts.
You have the Sahara, and down you have the cataracts. It made the river unnavigable. You cannot navigate, and that it made the river unnavigable. You cannot navigate, and that's a key for the protection of Egypt at a border city like Aswan. at the southern frontier.
So them cataracts were natural borders protecting Egypt from its enemies down south, is what he's saying. Nubians weren't able to, Cushites weren't able to flow up and down the Nile River. I know they didn't teach you this, but I will.
You need to protect Egypt, do you? Well, you have the cataract on the Nile, and the Nile was a super highway for the Egyptians. And if you have the cataract on the Nile, and the Nile was a super highway for the Egyptians, and if you have the cataracts, outcrops of granite, they are going to stop navigation. That's perfect for the ancient Egyptian empire.
Bam. We're clear on the cataracts, right? Now,
So let's talk about Nile cataracts. Let's talk about the Nile and the cataracts of the Nile, because as you study ancient Nubia and you start to study ancient Kemet, you want to get kind of dig deep into it. Understanding the geological considerations and the geographical things that the people of ancient times had to deal with helps you understand a lot about the history. So that's why it's so important to study the Nile and the Nile cataracts, because it was central to that area and central to the Nile Valley. And when you think about a cataract, what is a cataract? A cataract is really just a set of rocks, that jet out of the Nile in this area. So there are rocky areas that jet right out of the Nile, and they make it difficult to travel. They make it difficult for the traditional type of intercourse or interaction that would have gone on up and down the Nile. They're difficult in areas where there are cataracts, and these cataracts can go on for miles. So it's not like they're just a few hundred feet. They can go on for miles, and there's several of them in this area that is the Nile Valley. So this Nile Valley cataracts, as I mentioned, they're just stone that's jetting up out of the Nile. The Nile Valley, this area has 6 of them. So if you look up here and you take a look, right there where number 1 is the first cataract, that was traditionally the southern border of ancient Kemet. So when you think about Kemet in ancient times, its southern border was right there just above that first cataract of the Nile. And if you went up that first cataract and you went all the way to the Mediterranean Sea, you're not experiencing any real cataracts. You're able to kind of flow freely from all the way to the Mediterranean Sea. You're not experiencing any real cataracts. You're able to kind of flow freely from that area, which is now Aswan, from that area just above the first cataract. You're able to kind of flow freely all the way up to the Mediterranean Sea. So you have
flow freely all the way up to the Mediterranean Sea in dealing with Mediterranean people and being what I said at the beginning, the preeminent power in the Mediterranean world. Negroids were not part of the Mediterranean world. Nubians were not able to flow freely up the Nile because of cataracts. 3 people just explained that to you, and I showed and proved. Right?
inhibited and unhampered travel, if you will, and transfers that can take place up and down the Nile. Unhampered travel, if you will, and transfers that can take place up and down the Nile. Then when you look at that and you go from the first cataract to the second cataract, that's pretty much where Lower Nubia was. When you define Lower Nubia in ancient times, you're pretty much talking about that first cataract area that's in southern Kemet, or just near southern Kemet, all the way down to the second cataract, which is just below the modern day border of northern Sudan. So that area right there, much of that's Lower Nubia. And then when you go and you look at areas there, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Those are the other cataracts that are in this area, in the Nile Valley, if you will. Those cataracts are all in Upper Nubia. So that's Upper Nubia, from the second cataract down to the sixth cataract. That's Upper Nubia. And so you would find that they would have a lot more on this area of rockiness and travel around the Nile and up and down the Nile. And that area was much more difficult just because of the cataracts and other things that around the Nile and up and down the Nile. And that area was much more difficult just because of the cataracts and other things that are there in terms of the geology and the geography of it. So that's what the Upper Nubians had to deal with and look at.
Pause. So it's a difference in yes, sir.
What's the name?
This is, I think, Donita Smith.
Oh, Donita.
Well, this is a Donita Smith YouTube channel.
She ain't right?
Huh?
She ain't passed away.
You said pass away?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not sure.
Because that's I just but that might be her.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
So you can go to her page. It's called "What Are Nile Cataracts?" Right?
Yeah.
She's teaching, and in the description, there's plenty of information on her and what she's talking about. Right? So we're clear on the cataracts things. Now, let's get to this part. Sudan, and this is where you have to use your logic, people. And we don't have that long to go. We're almost done. Hold on. This is where you have to use your logic, people. Sudan is called, the etymology of Sudan is, let me find it for you. An Arabic word. Where is this? Hold on. Okay, here we go. Sudan is an Arabic word, right? Here's the etymology of Sudan. And Sudan means land of the blacks, as you see. Arabs called Sudan and most of what they considered south of the Sahara, basically sub-Saharan Africa, they called that land of the blacks. They didn't call Egyptians or Egypt land of the blacks. Why? Because it wasn't land of the blacks. They were Egyptians are an Afro-Asiatic speaking people, just like the Arab world. Right? They skipped over calling Egypt anything related to black folk or Negroid folk, because they weren't that. They called Sudan land of the blacks because it was full of blacks that I showed you, all in Nubia, giving honor and paying tribute to King Tut. Right? So yeah, that's a logical thing you have to think about. Not only that, but even the Persians, right? Persian word is what? Zanj. Right? And what does that mean? Zain in Arabic means the country of the blacks. They didn't call Egypt the country of the blacks because Egypt wasn't black people. These people in ancient times know exactly who they're dealing with. So let's move on. The Greco-Roman world called it Ethiopia, which is a term for, as you see here, Ethiopia on this map is under North Africa, under Libya. It's speaking about sub-Saharan Africans. Right? The Greek historian Herodotus uses the appellation to refer to such parts of sub-Saharan Africa were then known within the inhabitable world. The etymology, the Greek Ethiopia, is a compound derivative of the Greek words eye, burn, face, according to Percy's father. It means burnt face. It means burnt face. They talking about black folk. The Greco-Roman world. It's talking about darker skinned populations that the Greeks since the time of Homer. They called it that, right? They're talking about what? Primarily in what was then Nubia, ancient Sudan. They're talking about black folk. They're talking about areas below the Sahara, sub-Saharan Africans. So in ancient times, the word Africa did not refer to sub-Saharan Africa. Africa referred to only North Africa. In ancient Libya, Libya was a name for North Africa, which they call the Maghreb. The Maghreb is from Libya, Tunisia, Algeria, and Morocco. That area east of Egypt is called the Maghreb in North Africa. But they used to call it ancient Libya. But Ethiopia was a term for sub-Saharan Africa. So what we seen was the Arabs called Sudan land of the blacks. The Persians called it Zang, land of the blacks. The Greco-Roman world called sub-Saharan Africa Ethiopia. Right? So let me go down here and show you this map, and we're going to move forward. Where is my map? Okay, here we go. Bam. So we got the Arabs, the Persians, the Greco-Roman world, and now the Europeans. This is an ancient cartographer's map of what they called it Negro land. What does Negro mean? Black. At the bottom, you see the Gold Coast, the Slave Coast, right? In sub-Saharan Africa, to European cartographers, was considered Negro land. You see it. And above Negro land, you see what? The Sahara Desert. Sahara Desert. The Sahara Desert, right? So everybody in ancient time, in an ancient world, whether you was the Arabs, the Persians, the Greco-Roman world, the Europeans, they all called sub-Saharan Africa black folk, Negroes, Negro land, land of the blacks. Those are black folk south of the Sahara, not North Africa. I'm cooking. Keep that real. Okay. Now, people say Narmer came from the south. Straight bull crap. Narmer came from central Egypt and united lower Egypt or northern Egypt, right? And after Narmer did that, guess what he did? He wasn't Nubian. You guys have been lying about that, come from the south. That is drama. Here we go. Narmer did what? He led military expeditions through Lower Egypt to put down rebellions and then expanded his territory into Canaan and Nubia. Soon as Narmer united Upper and Lower Egypt, he made a U-turn and started banging on Nubians, and they was always snatching up gold. They was always punking Nubia for their stuff. They was always messing with them Negroid people south of them. Not only Narmer, but it seems like every 2 or 3 pharaohs, they come in here banging on Nubia. Amenhotep. What did he do? That he what? Led campaigns into Nubia. According to Tomb of Text Amos, the son of Ibana, Amenhotep later sought to expand Egypt's borders southward into Nubia, and he led an invasion which defeated the Nubian army. They weren't friends. The Nubians were their enemy. Black folk was their enemy. Negroids were their enemy. And defeated the Nubian army. The Tomb biography of Amos says he also fought in a campaign against Cush. Not only Amenhotep was banging on Nubians. Let's go to the homie Mentuhotep. Right? Mentuhotep. What did he do? He launched military campaigns under the command of his vizier Kiti south into Nubia. They send in military. They send in military because they're battling. They not friends. They taking slaves. Military campaign, right, south into Nubia, which had gained its independence during the first intermediate period in its 29th, 31st, and 7th year. This is the first attested appearance of the term Cush for Nubian in Egyptian records. They all banging on them. Not only that, but Sinraset was banging on them. What did he do? Sinraset cleared a navigable canal through the first cataract, because remember, cataracts were hard to sail through, and rocks. You couldn't go through cataracts. So what happened? Sinraset cleared a navigable canal through the first cataract of the Nile River. This was different from the canal of the pharaohs, which apparently Senruset III also tried to build. He also relentlessly pushed his kingdom expansion into Nubia. where he erected massive river forts, right? He carried out at least 4 major campaigns into Nubia in his years 8, 10, 16, and 19. His year 8, Stella, at the Semi documents his victories against the Nubians, through which he is thought to have made safe southern frontier, preventing further incursions into Egypt. They was preventing these people from coming all into Egypt. Another great stela from SaNeter dated to the 3rd month, year 16 of his reign, mentions his military activities against both who? Nubia and Canaan. They weren't buddies. They were different people. Okay? Not only that, let's go here. Hold on. So we talk about King Tut. This is King Tut. Not only all them pharaohs, King Tut, who they was giving honor to. This Caucasian. He's different than them guys at the bottom. He's trampling over. He's not a Negroid. They just use red ochre paint in their melanated. He has a straight nose. And they're melanated, and they just use red ochre because they didn't have a lot of colors. He riding on his enemies. What is y'all talking about? Everyone was riding on Nubians to get that gold and to take it up to the Mediterranean world and floss and have gold Daytons on chariots and make money all in the Mediterranean world. I mean, what are y'all talking about? Real quick. Why they didn't show you this picture of King Tut? He's not Negroid. Why they didn't show you that picture? Why they didn't show you this picture of King Tut? He's not Negroid. He's mtDNAK, which is West Asia. It's nothing you can do with this information. These are facts. Why they didn't show you this picture of King Tut? Why they keep cherry picking pictures for y'all? Why they didn't show you this picture of King Tut? Egyptians was not black folk. Okay?
I'm so sick of these people.
Now, here we go. Tutankhamun right here. What is he doing? Trampling on his enemies. Who's he trampling on? Who's he trampling on? Black folk. People of the southern lands. Huh? Let's stop playing. Captured Nubians. This is who he's rolling on. Hold on. We're almost done. I just got to show. So why they didn't show you them pictures of King Tut? Hold on real quick, y'all. These are them Nubian captives. They've been snatching gold. This is how they depicted them. Egyptians aren't depicted like this. They've been doing slavery in Egypt. I don't know why people are acting like that's not real. This is a captured Nubian. This is that same people. Let me just show you a few pictures and we're going to move on. These same people, bound Nubians with chains on their neck. Them same people, black folk. Egyptians are not depicted like this. Egypt depicted who is who. The only black folk in the north, in the Asiatics, Libyans, the only black folk is the Nubians, Southerners. Nobody else is black. Them are Caucasoid people, y'all. We are a people of the tropics, south of the Sahara. Southerners. Y'all got to cut this out and leave these people history alone. So they used to do what we call caricature. See this picture on the top left? That's caricature. Not that they actually look like that, but you know how they did the cartoons in America? And show blacks with the big lips and wide eyes, and back in the day, this is what they did in them times. Talking about black folk. This is caricature. They were clowning when they did these drawings. Caucasian people was clowning Negroid people. This is black folk. But just don't get all sentimental in your feelings. These people aren't us. We West and Central Africa. We ain't got nothing to do with no Nubians. They were always bound and getting rode on. There's a difference, people. To the left, black folk. To the right, Caucasians. It's a difference. It's a difference. One would be considered black folk Negroid. The other wouldn't be. They've been lying to y'all. Hold on, we're almost done. Even on this ancient map here, what do you see under North Africa, south of the Sahara? It says Sudan Neger. Might be a word for Negro. Sudan, I showed you, means black land. Negro means black. Nothing in the north was ever called Negro, black, Sudan, Zang, none of those terms relating to black folk. The northern people are Afro-Asiatic speaking people. They have affinities close to each other. They're people of the Mediterranean world. Black folk ain't Mediterranean people. I'm sorry, y'all. You've been bamboozled. The Hotep hustle has miseducated you. Even the Jebelian mummy they found, all down close to, look at his hair. Primary evidence. This Caucasian hair. Let's go. We're almost done. We're almost done. Okay. All right. So I'm distinguishing, showing you a difference between the people who was superior and who was inferior according to the ancient records. Now, a lot of times, people, this is a great site for people to check out, the Atlas of Humanity, right? Trust me, this should show you who it looks like what and who looks like, look right here. For example, people for a long time get to showing you these pictures and acting like these are the ancient Egyptians. This is what they look like. These are people in Ethiopia called the Hammer tribe. They're in East Africa. These are not Egyptian people. These Ethiopian Hammer tribe people have nothing, absolutely zero to do with Egypt, zero to do with the Mediterranean world. They had nothing at all to do with Egypt or the Mediterranean world. They never did trade and business in the Mediterranean world. None of that. Don't let people fool you with these pictures. And they be, oh, let's see the Egyptian. They'll show you something, and they'll show you something on the Egyptian wall that may look similar. They've been tricking you. These are Negroids of sub-Saharan Africa. They got nothing to do with North Africa. None of these types, none of these people, none of my people were ever in North Africa, indigenous to North Africa, unless you was up there from a slave trade. That's how you got there. Now, and they'll also do this with the Afar people. Afar people. Ethiopia, Eritrea. This has nothing to do with Egypt. These are Afar people. And people always show you these people with the braids and try to equate them to Egypt. They're mind gaming you. These people way down south, even below Sudan. These people are in Ethiopia, Eritrea. And they're mixed. These people are not even related to us African Americans, us Black Americans, us West Central African descendants. You guys have zero to do with Egypt. Your ancestors had zero to do with Egypt. Stop using these people and trying to play like they the Egyptians. They're not. South of the Sahara, south of Egypt is where black folk is from, not north. I don't even call these black folk, but y'all can call them black folk. But these are admixed people. These people speak Afro-Asiatic language, all in the Horn of Africa. All in the Horn of Africa. My hair ain't got nothing to do with that. Right? So I just wanted to show you the Afar and the Hammer tribe, Eritrea, Ethiopia area, and show you that these people have nothing to do with Egypt. because people use these pictures. Go check out the Atlas of Humanity. It's a great site, right? Great site. And you can click on any people and see what the culture and the people look like. From Asia, Americas, Europe. I mean, you can see what the world looked like. Outside of sub-Saharan Africa, black folk are maybe about 5% of the population. We ain't, stop it. Stop it. Okay, what else I want to touch on before I end? This is also people need to know. Because black Americans are confused about their own identity. Definitely they're confused about other people's identity. North Africans, Egyptians are not Arab people. They speak Arabic and embrace Islam today. But Egyptians are only 17% Arab. Stop calling them Arab. They're Egyptian. You just don't know the difference. It's like another Mediterranean people, Italian. So I did a survey one time and I put some Italian women in a hijab, some Muslim Italian women, and I told everybody to guess who they are. People said, oh, they Tunisian women, they Moroccan women, they Libyan women, they Egyptian women, they Arab women. Nope. I said they are Italian women, and everyone was wrong. Italians and Mediterranean. So people in the Mediterranean, which is a region, look similar sometimes. Just like people in West and Central Africa look similar because they're in the same region. So stop calling Egyptians, people in Egypt, Arab. They're not Arabs. You would think she's Arab, but you don't know your own identity. You'd be confused. You don't know. Berbers are not Arabs. Egyptians aren't Berbers or Arabs. They're Egyptians. Or some say North Africans, but they like to call themselves Egyptians. So regardless of them having the Egyptian religion, Arab religion, Islam came with the sword of Islam and made every goddamn thing Islam. Right? You need to know that. Now, that should be all. And just make sure I go through my tabs and see I touched on everything. Let me just do this one more thing. Like, I don't do the picture game, but we can. So people be showing you pictures and trying to equate everybody together. This is this and this and that. But I didn't do any picture games today. Because that's not scholarship. We call it lookership. But we can do picture games all the dang time. And do this comparison thing. We can do this all day long. And I will outpicture you. We're about to end it, Si. Hold on. I will outpicture you all day long. I can do this for hours. So Egyptian women are always painted white or yellow. Nubian women are never painted white or yellow like this. Nubian women are always black or dark brown. And there's a reason behind this, but y'all can do that research on your own, because they're supposed to be working inside, so they weren't as tan. The men were painted in red ochre. The women were painted yellow or white. Why no Nubian women are painted yellow or white? Because they weren't of that hue. Egyptian women are of this hue. That's why they're painted that color. You can't even find a casket or coffin with a black person on it. We can do the picture game all day, but I just wanted to show y'all some scholarship. But we can do this all day. This is the fourth dynasty. You don't have to cherry pick pictures. You don't have to keep showing them same 10 pictures that make people think that they black. They cherry pick pictures for decades on y'all. But they don't show you these pictures all the time. Huh? Nubian women are never pictured like this. Egyptians was not black folk. It's not one thing I said today that is wrong. I prove every point I made. I was lied to. I was misinformed. I used to be an Egyptomaniac. I am no longer that. I woke up. I let go of my foolish pride. I said I'm going to represent my own people in West and Central Africa. I'm no longer trying to steal nobody's history, claim some other people's history, claim another people's culture. We used to say we're the Moors. We're not the Moors. The Moors are Berbers and Arabs who conquered Spain, the Iberian Peninsula. Black folk ain't had nothing to do with no Spain. Black folk ain't had nothing to do with no Spain and conquering the Iberian Peninsula. Those were Arab dynasties who did that. So whoever's been teaching the Moors are black have been lying to you. I'm calling out Reggie, Smash Rockwell, Jabari, Shaka Amos. Answer to me. Come out the closet and deal with me. I've offered everybody $200 and $300 to debate me on this topic. None of them took it. They all ran, SaNeter.
I'm calling you. I'm so sick of these people. Oh!
So I'm just letting you know I don't do the picture game, but I just want to show you. We can play picture games if you like. I will out-picture you. I can go for hours. Nubian women are never painted like this.
So let me get this. Are you saying that these pictures that you show are the people of Egypt? Oh no.
And what scholarship says, what science says, what my buddies Ngozi and Chevron, who's about to come on, says, the modern day Egyptians that are there today are the ancient Egyptians. They never went nowhere, Sa. Let me come back on screen. I can go all day showing them pictures, but let me come back to StreamYard and get up off that. Right? Can you hear me, Sa?
Yes, I hear you.
Let me stop sharing my screen.
You got an echo. All right, now your echo is gone. Are you saying that the people that are dead now, Chief X, are the original Egyptians, are the ones who built the pyramids and the temples of Luxor and all this great stuff?
The Pyramid of Giza is by Cairo in the Delta, which is basically the Mediterranean. The Sphinx is up there close by the Mediterranean Sea.
And Ngozi is co-signing that? And Chevron?
Fam, Mediterranean people built that. We didn't have nothing to do with no black folk ain't had nothing to do with no pyramid building.
Oh wow.
None of that stuff. None of them temples. We were from the south.
Hey,
we didn't do business in the Mediterranean world.
You starting to get people that's calling you out. Lord Abba is talking about, yo, man. You calling out the Moors, man. You dealing with something you know nothing about, he's saying. He paid $5 for this question to get answered, brother. Actually,
me and Lord Abba had a debate back in the blog talk.
He debate me on if the Moors took over Spain weren't black.
At any time. That would be suicide for you, Lord Abba. But check this out, sir.
Go ahead.
African Americans and Afrocentrics have been lying on the ancient Egyptians and been disrespectful. The ancient Egyptians, in no writing, ever said they disappeared, migrated away from Egypt, and just went somewhere else. They never wrote that. They never left.
Look, you done woke up the lion, bro. You done woke up the king.
They have never disappeared. The modern day Egyptians are the ancient Egyptians, and they're here to this day. DNA says the modern day Egyptians that are there right now have about 68% of the genetic composition of the ancient Egyptians. This is what science says. Take it up with science.
This is exactly.
Now, I didn't show no first century sources. Elder Yara wouldn't pay attention.
But this is exactly what I've been waiting for.
Check this out, SaNeter. This is even a shot at every single Hebrew Israelite. Captain Tazariak, all of them. There were never no black folk anywhere near Canaan or Israel. No black people indigenous to anywhere in any of them lands. And the claim I've made, there's never been one Negroid black tribe indigenous to North Africa, Europe, Levant, the Near East, or the Caucasus. Those are not our lands. We're tropic people.
Let me say this to you.
So no Hebrew Israelite can ever tell you a Negroid or black tribe that was anywhere near Canaan, Egypt, and anywhere north. They're all wrong. Everybody's wrong.
Let me say this to you, Chief. Man, you're going to have everybody coming at you. You going at the goddamn. You see, one of the best is in the building, Elder Yara, and you going at the best, man. You going at the captain, Elder Yara, Brother Jabari, and then Lord Abba, he wants some blood.
So I came here to debunk I came here to turn the conscious community upside down on his head and debunk the entire conscious community. Anybody talking about non-black Egypt got it from me. They're using my talking points. They're using my style. They got it from Chief X. Let it be known.
Well, you know, I am witness of you're the first one that did bring it out that Egypt wasn't black. You're the first one, and everybody else started copying off you on that. I remember you and Jabari going at it about a good 3 years ago, you and Jabari. So yeah, I'll give you that. You were the first one saying that. But I don't know if Ngozi and Chiefrin is going to co-sign this, man. I'm waiting on them brothers to hit the link.
Chefron, hit that link. I gave Chefron the link.
You up, brother. I think they set you up to go in there and look crazy.
Now, somebody in the comments can say Chief X is full of BS. I guarantee you.
Echoing y'all.
I guarantee you, every single point I made is a fact, and no one can disprove it. So people can get on this personality and say, "Hey, Chief BS." What about the information? Don't say I'm bull crap. I'm wrong. Prove to me that I'm wrong on anything I presented.
And that's what I want y'all to come with: the information, not ad hominems, not no slander, none of that. Come with the information, because I'm gonna tell you something. If you come with slander, if you come with jokes, then I'm gonna say Chief X beat you, because that's all you got to come with is jokes and clown and buffoonery. You got to show your information. He came in, he showed the sources. I mean, Queen Tah, wow, hey Chief X, man. Damn,
I was cooking, boy. I was cooking.
You showed the hair and all that, so I don't know, man. You probably got Reggie and them boiling right now.
Hey, was it powerful? Was it powerful?
Yeah, that was powerful. Brother Jabari probably red right now.
Red as heck.
Jabari is in the chat.
I want them all.
Right,
hey, Chef Ron, throw the link in there, so I let
I'm gonna throw the link in there right now. Brother Elder Yara. What's up, man?
What's going on, SaNeter?
Why you ain't hit the link? Come in.
Hold on, sir. Before anybody hit the link, you got to put the link in there so Ngozi and Chef.
Okay, I got the link in the chat. The link.
Let Ngozi and Chef come on because they got something to say.
Yes, the link.
And then you can invite other people. Hit that link, Chef, and
the link is in the chat. Real quick, what you want to say, my brother, before they come on?
Listen, Chief X, I understand your angst and want to be different with your scholarship. I understand that. And I get this a lot of times through the same criticism you get because I'm from the Hebrew Israelite paradigm. So I get what you're going through. But at the end of the day, what's a lie is what's a lie and what's the truth is the truth. If you say that you come from a tropical people, where's the Tropic of Cancer run through? What does the line runs through? Where's the tropical line? Where's the dividing line?
Tropic of Cancer. Hold on, because I had it on the map here. Hold on.
All right, we got Amir in the building. We got Nkosi in the building.
What's up? What's up, Sal? Peace and love.
Peace. Hey, I'm gonna have to get back to you, Elder Yara, because this is their show.
Yeah, do that.
And just stay tuned in. I'm gonna open up the line.
Yeah, I'm gonna check out the line.
All right. So I want everybody to know we got the man up in the building. We got Nkosi in the building, and this will be a dynamic blow. Chief X got the killers on deck. What's going on, Nkosi?
Peace. Chief X did an excellent job. He's 100% correct when he talk about the people of Egypt. They were neither black, they were neither white, they are not Arab, they are Egyptians. And if you follow the genetic signatures that they have, it's consistent. The DNA composition that they have is consistent with the ancient populations. Even though it's limited for the available data for the overall region, but based off Abusir, based off what's getting ready to be promoted in 2025, they were supposed to do it in 2023. It all falls in line with the same thing. That mtDNAK has went into Egypt 8,000 years ago before dynastic Egypt because it's connected to the pre-Proto Neolithic culture. And if you look up the pre-Proto Neolithic culture, you can see the mtDNAK there. It's an offshoot of mtDNA U8B, which gave rise to K. It's West Asian. So King Tut paternal line was also R1B. So they were not what we think they were. They were neither white, they were neither black, and they are not Arabs. They are Egyptians. The Egyptians are Egyptians, which is North Africans. That's what they are.
All right. So let me ask you, Nkosi, do you subscribe to the teachings that he just said, as far as the people that are over there now, the Arabs that are over there in Kemet, in Egypt? Are they the people who built the pyramids, brother? Are you saying that as well? Do you come?
They are the descendants of the people that built the pyramids. Yes, they are.
God damn it, goes.
I mean.
This is heavy. This is heavy. It's like y'all trying to, not you, but I'm just saying, not intentionally, but our people may see this as you trying to take away Black history, and if you take away that, then what? Then what we have?
We have Mali, we have Nigeria, we have Ghana, we have Sierra Leone, we got Ouagadougou, we got a whole lot of stuff that we promoted and that we did. We got Zimbabwe, we got, if you want to deal with Nubia, even though we're not connected to the people in Nubia, but the people of Sudan, those are classified as Black people, if you want to deal with that. But overall, our direct ancestors from West and Central Africa, we got a whole lot of stuff over there where we come from. Empire Oyo, the Empire Ghana, Empire Ouagadougou, we got Mali, Timbuktu, we got Igbo Empire. We got a lot of empires in West Africa that's been abandoned and neglected that we don't even talk about. You know what I'm saying? And we got empires in Cameroon, the Bimileke, and different groups of people. So I think it's really, really important to embrace our direct ancestors from West and Central Africa. Those people that we come from didn't speak Medu Neter. They didn't care about Medu Neter because that wasn't part of our identity. We were West and Central Africans. Now, if you want to deal with it religiously, because we live in a new time, and as I said to Jabari before, we live in a time where a man can be a woman and a woman can be a man. So if you want to deal with what you want to do in America, it's free reign.
Okay, real quick, brother Jabari. I don't know if I want to let you in. This is their show because y'all show is at 8 o'clock, brother.
Let me if I can say this.
You want to say something and be out?
Yeah, if I